Hey guys, Lou here from LT's Custom Woodworks. Welcome to the shop. Today, another day, another dollar. Today is going to be another good day. Today is something different. Finally, I get to do something different. It's been a long time. A bedroom suite build. So this one's going to be done in maple. The dresser, now there's going to be two dressers, one on each side. And then there's going to be a makeup station in the middle. Two nightstands and a bedroom frame for a queen size bed. The dresser now is going to be, it might be 6 drawers, but I'm thinking I'm leaning towards 5. We're going to see how it goes on the build, on the height, the room that basically we need for it to fit in there. There's going to be a hidden drawer. Secret drawer, I guess you can say, in the dresser as well, built in. Pretty clean cut and dry. So I'm going to start off with the two dressers. There's going to be a he side and a she side, and the two dressers on each end, one on each end, and then, like I said, the makeup mirror with the LED lights, the makeup station with the chair. There's going to be drawers on each side and a drawer in the middle for it as well. But we're going to start off with the dressers. Now I'm going to start building, I'm going to cut for both dressers, but you're only going to see me building the one dresser, and then the other one I can build off camera or whatever maybe. We're going to start off with cutting the legs for the height. Again, it's all going to be done in maple. I might throw some walnut in there, we'll see, but this build is going to be done in walnut. So color, we don't know yet. We'll see when we get to that point. In the meantime, I'm going to get my saw set up and start cutting some stock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set my blade height to 3/8. And this is going to be a panel that's sitting on the sides of the dresser. So I'm going to cut a dado in the middle or offset, whatever looks good. I got a test piece here, and it's going to fit a 1/4 inch panel in between. And I'm going to cut these to all the pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is set my blade to 3/8. So now that I made my first pass, I'm going to sneak the fence over slightly a bit. I'll make another pass, and I'll do this with my test cut first, and I'll keep checking the plywood to make sure that it fits in there nicely. And that is a nice fit right there. Perfect. I have my domino machine set up, and I'm using the number 5 cutter on this one. And I got my marks all laid out on the one panel, so I'm going to cut these in. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then I'll start cutting the insert of this panel and getting this glued up to it. So I'm going to start to do my glue up for the dominoes. And that is looking really, really good. Nice and square. We are good. One down, 3 more to go. Now that the sides of the cabinets are all dried and sanded down, I'm going to start on the carcass of the dresser, and I'm going to be using Baltic birch. The reason why I'm not using the maple is because the carcass of the dresser, you're not going to see it. So that's why I'm using the Baltic birch. And I'm going to cut 2 strips out of a 4x8 sheet of plywood, or part of a 4x8 sheet. I'm going to cut 2 strips that are going to be at 15 1/8 deep. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm cutting the bottom shelf of the dresser. Now usually on a dresser there's just the sides, the top, and then the front face frame. There is no bottom because the drawers are going in. But on this one here it's a little bit different, and you're going to see later on in the video on what I mean by that. There's going to be some hidden shelves, hidden drawers. So due to that, I have to put a bottom because the stand is a little bit different on this. And the reason the stand is different for this dresser is because I want to put some LED lighting on there. So I'm going to cut this bottom shelf at 35 inches, and then we're going to go from there. So what I ended up doing here is I marked my 30 inches. And then at each end, I put 2.5 inches. And that's where the side, there's going to be a front face of the side panel is going to go between these 2 marks. And that is going to be one of the hidden drawers. So I marked this at 2.5. I'll do the same thing to the other side. This here is going to be the inside side panel. Is going to screw into place like that. And I'll do the same thing to the other side. So I'll get set up with my screws and that. I'm going to screw from underneath. And we'll go from there. I'm going to drive a brad nail in place. That's just to hold this until I screw it in place. So I cut 2 braces for the top, and these are cut at 4 inches wide a piece, and they're 29 inches, 29 1/8 long. I'm going to run a brace on the bottom, one on the top, and that will stabilize the top end for the top that's going to go on top of this. I'm going to pin them in with a brad nailer, screw them in, and then I'm going to stand this up and go from there. Doing dressers or any kind of drawers with a secret compartment, there's a lot of thinking, and it is a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end. Okay, so what I did was I took the time to mark out for my drawers. So the drawer opening is going to be 7 inches all the way up. That's going to give me 6 drawers. But the drawer fronts are going to be 7.5 inches. So I just measured from the bottom 7 inches, marked 3/4 of an inch. That's going to be, or sorry, 1.5 inches is going to be my for the face frame. Then I continued all the way up, but I started from 7 inches, 7.5, 7 inches, 7.5, but there's actually 1.5 inches face frame. So I'm going to do the face frame first. Once I get that in place, you'll see where the 7 and the 7.5 comes in. But it's quite simple. If you're a typical drawer is 7.5 inches, the drawer front, so the opening has to be 7. Now I'm going to be using 1.5 inch, 3/4 inch maple. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill some pocket holes into the face frame so I can put it together. It just makes it a lot easier to put together. Okay, so to put the face frame together, I got the bottom strip already. I just got them pinned in for now. I will screw it in a bit. I cut a 7-inch riser block. I'm going to just slam it up to the top there. I will take my 1.5 inch piece. I will screw it in. I'll take this riser block. I'll move it over, do the same thing to this, and then I will just put it back on top here and follow all the way up. So I got this clamped to the frame with my clamps here. I'm going to screw the back into the face frame with pocket hole screws, and I'm going to be using 1.25 inch pocket hole screws. I do got a square I'm going to use as I go, make sure everything is lined and everything's good to go. So I'm going to put these together first before I secure it onto the cabinet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the joint. On both sides. I'll drive a couple of pins just to hold it in place, and then this is going to get pocket hole screwed to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the kick plate even on the back. Now I got it marked 3 inches from the end in, 3 inches from the end in, and just keep this even at the back, and that's where it's going to get screwed in place. I will do the same thing to this side. And there she is. Now what I can do is start working on the sides of the dresser. Okay, so what I ended up doing was I cut some strips of maple, and I cut these at 2 inches wide. The length, I got 2 of them set at 47 inches long. And then the short pieces I got set at 14 1/4 long. This is for one side of the door frame. Then I have the other side to do. And then of course the other dresser. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this together. And I'm just going to glue and pin these like this. And then there's going to be a panel that sits on top. I'll pin that on. And then it'll get mounted onto the frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my my glue. You want the good side facing up. This is going to sit on top of there. So now we're going to take this panel, flip it upside down. We know where it's got to go. And we're going to pin this into place all the way around. You want to be generous with your Now what I've done is I've laid this, pretty much this box on top of the door panel. Then I've taken my drawer slide, I've put it underneath a 3/4 inch plywood. That's to cover the bottom side. I put that and I made sure it's even on the front face and the bottom. And that is, once I get that all lined up properly, I'm just going to run some brad nails all the way around on the inside going into the door frame. Then what I'm going to do is later on I'll put some decorative screw on the inside, and then I'll figure out if I'm going to cover this with something, a cloth of some sort, or do I want to leave it bare. It all depends. You can do whatever you like, whatever you prefer. It's your preference. Okay, so what I ended up doing was I took a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, I put it up against, I took my drawer slide, I'm putting it even at the edge here. I'm going to pull it back and just screw it down. I'm going to do the same thing to the top. And then I can screw in my drawer side. Now that I got this in place, this is basically a secret drawer. There will be a face front that goes on top, and that's what it's going to look like in the front, with your drawers going all the way down. It's got the nice bevel on it. This pulls out. Now I will show you on this side what it looks like. I'll just wheel you over to the side here. And on this side here, I can either have a rack system or shelves. You can put your cologne, necklaces, watches, anything that you think should go in there, ties, you can hang your ties, whatever you need to put in there. Okay, so the way I'm going to attach these, and I already did this side, I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the side. I'm going to take my clamp and I'm just going to line up the one side for now. Even at the top. I'll clamp this here, to hold it in place. Then I'm going to drive a screw from the back side. I'll do the bottom first. And I will go all the way down doing that. That is looking a beaut. Take a look at that. I'll bring you in a little closer here. Just got to give it a sand. The next step is the drawers. There is going to be a secret door at the top here, and then the top, LED lighting on the bottom. I got the backing to do, and she's good to go. I'm going to end it here. The next video is going to be the drawers, the finishing, the secret drawer at the top. It's also going to have a swipe card to get into that top drawer. That will be on my next video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.